is essential as much as we need strong policy frameworks and legislations banning harmful practices. It is also our duty to create bridges in order to popularize and ensure important space for girls, women, and community empowerment in order to change the norms that drive these practices and move always closer towards the Africa we want. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and also my message to the Youth Victorious Ambassadors, Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors. You are here today, the 6 ambassadors, you are here with us today, selected among, I was trying to recall the number, selected among 2,000 applicants. So out of 2,000 applications, you have been chosen to fulfill a difficult task. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell you it is easy, but it is doable. It is doable. You will be representing the African youth and amplifying young women's messages in order to protect with us the lives of 50 million girls at risk of undergoing female genital mutilation by 2030 if current trends persist. So we need to count in numbers that how many of these 50 million girls we managed to save. Have we managed to save all of them? Have we managed to save less or more? So we need to have this as a target. As girls and women, many things can be and have been unfairly taken from us. But as girls and women, we will continue to defend our human rights for us and the generations to come until every girl born Salima can grow Salima and live Salima. And this is the slogan we used from the beginning. She's born Salima, let her grow Salima. Leave her grow Salima. And was our message was for the parents, for the families, for the communities, for the government officials. So it will continue as a continental message. Excellencies, again, I'm delighted to be with you today in launching this platform. Let me assure you that the rest of the department also, they are very committed. We have an able team to support you. I'm sure you know them, and partners interested to work alongside you. I mentioned here UNICEF and UNFPA. And here I recognize also our new initiative or our new program, the Spotlight Initiative Africa program. We signed actually this Africa region Spotlight Initiative program in April this year, 2020. Also amid this COVID-19, myself, Ambassador Raniri, representing the European Union, and my sister Hanna Teti, representing the United Nations, the Africa program started after the signing ceremony in April, and we are working now very closely for the implementation on the level of the African Union Commission and also on the level of the selected member states for the Spotlight Initiative. And I thank you again. As I said, I thank the 3 partners to this one, the AU represented by us and others, and the European Union and the United Nations, because there is different stakeholders from the United Nations, and this includes, of course, UNFPA and UNICEF and the joint program, the European Union. And I would like also to send through this platform a special also thank you to the European Union for standing a really very strong to support our pillars to assure that girls and women health, well-being and empowerment will be a reality in our continent. I end by saying that welcome our 6 ambassadors, welcome to the Saleema Initiative team, welcome to the African Union Commission, welcome to the Social Affairs Department, and of course, before all that, welcome as part of the AU Youth Envoy office. Thank you in advance. We will be very much in support of your work. I wish you all the luck with your mission, and I will be available for you all the time, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this warm welcome. We are honored to represent the Saleema Initiative and to work under your guidance and tutelage, even though I was initially scared when you said you'll be leaving in 4 months. But I'm glad you eventually said that you're still going to be around to support us. I know that I can speak on behalf of my sister, my Saleema sisters, when I say that we will do our best, to be worthy. Has been working on the elimination of female genital mutilation for many years, and more precisely through the UNICEF-UNFPA joint program on end of GM, which started in 2008 and which I have been part of since 2014 when it started in Nigeria. It is my pleasure, therefore, to welcome our next speaker, and he's no other person than one of the leading figures of this work. And we are grateful to have her as our partner and strong ally, on the Saleema Youth Ambassador Initiative. Please welcome Dr. Nafisatu, the Chief of the Gender and Human Rights Branch at UNFPA. It's a great pleasure for me, to welcome you to this meeting. Over.
Good morning, everybody.
Sorry to interrupt, Abimbola. Just for us to observe the protocol, we would need to have the ambassador speak first, and then we'll move forward to you, Madame Diop, if that's okay.
No problem.
Apologies too, because I messed up this. So, Ambassador of Burkina Faso, Ambassador, welcome, and the floor is yours. And my apologies. Welcome, Ambassador.
So, I just want to say a few words. Je vais parler en français. Donc, je veux bien accueillir Son Excellence Léopard Bonkongo, ambassadeur du Burkina Faso auprès de l'Union africaine. Ambassadeur, le président de la République du Burkina Faso a été désigné champion de l'Union africaine pour l'élimination des mutilations génitales féminines par le 32e sommet de l'Union africaine. Et le président m'a accordé à Addis Abeba une audience en marge du récent sommet au mois de février. Et nous avons échangé sur l'initiative Salima et nous avons proposé une action de dialogue intergénérationnel entre Son Excellence et les ambassadrices du Salima. Donc, nous saluons le leadership de Son Excellence et nous espérons que malgré la pandémie du Covid-19, nous pourrons toujours honorer l'engagement du président avec les ambassadrices. Excellence, vous avez la parole.
Merci bien, Madame Aya, et pour la présentation et la modération de cette activité. Madame la commissaire en charge des affaires sociales de la Commission de l'Union africaine, Madame la chef du département genre et droits humains de l'UNFPA, et Madame l'ambassadrice de bonne volonté sur l'élimination du mariage des enfants, et distinguée lauréate et jeunes enfants. Et Madame la commissaire, je voudrais vous remercier pour les compliments et les mots aimables, ainsi que Madame Aya, l'envoyée spéciale des jeunes, et les mots aimables et les compliments exprimés à l'endroit du champion de l'Union africaine sur la lutte contre les MGF, et également à l'endroit des autorités burkinabées. Et je ne puis manquer d'exprimer l'appréciation de ma délégation et des plus hautes autorités du Burkina Faso et pour cette belle initiative prise et par la Commission de l'Union africaine.
African Union Commission took together with all the partners in order to effect the launching of the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors. And my delegation is pleased to hail the actions and initiatives that were undertaken by the Department of Social Affairs to promote the Saleema Initiative and to get the support and help of partners so that there can be a synergy of actions in the fight against FGMs. And as you rightly highlighted, His Excellency President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore, President of Burkina Faso, was designated by his peers on the occasion of the 32nd summit of the AU as the African Union champion to spearhead the Saleema Initiative on the fight against FGMs. Now, it means that the launching of these Youth Victorious Ambassadors is most welcome. And it falls in place in the momentum of initiatives, of actions and strategies of the Saleema Initiative to fight effectively against FGMs and other harmful traditional practices. And I would add that who better than the youth, and in particular the young girls, could spearhead the Saleema Initiative, because the main objective of Saleema is to ensure that all girls, all women have a dignified life and achieve their potential. And this campaign, this communication campaign that you are waging by launching this program is, in fact, the best way of moving forward. And I would also like to seize this opportunity to inform all of you that in his continuous commitment to the mandate that he was entrusted with, President Kabore of Burkina Faso thinks that the youth should take ownership of this battle. He thinks that that is absolutely necessary. His Excellency, the President, met on the 13th of July of this year at the Presidential Palace. He met some youth coming from the 13 regions of Burkina Faso, and on that occasion, he committed them to fight against FGMs because they are the ones, as youth, as young people, as the new generation that can raise high the flag of this battle to ensure that FGMs become a matter of the past. And I would like at this point to join my voice, that of the Commissioner, to your voice, Mrs. Aya, and to all voices that have been heard, to congratulate the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors and tell them that over and beyond their respective personalities, it is millions of young girls, millions of women that they're fighting for, so that FGMs and other harmful traditional practices against women can end. In your respective communities, you will be ambassadors, and you will have to work towards speeding up every action to eradicate the practice of FGMs. And we think that in the vision of our union based on Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, it is absolutely for us to maintain our commitment to protect girls and women of all harmful practices and to ensure that girls and women have a dignified life and fulfill their potential. Now, for winding up, I would like to reiterate the commitment of the champion and of my country, Burkina Faso, to continue the efforts that have been initiated in the framework of the mandate entrusted to our head of state, the President of Burkina Faso, so that the Saleema Initiative can be carried out successfully. And we would like to wish full success to our Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors, and in particular, full success to this program. I do thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Ambassadeur. Merci.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. We do appreciate your presence today and also the commitment of Burkina Faso.
But I also wanted to recognize Ambassador Salah Hamad, Head of AGA Secretariat. Thank you for being with us and for your comment on the chat supporting the initiative. I wanted also to welcome again all of you. We have more than 250 participants coming from Syria, Tunisia, Egypt, Nigeria, Uganda, Burundi, I think more than 30 African countries. So thank you for being with us, and continue to tweet at the hashtag #BornSalima. I wanted also to say that we're doing things differently today. I'm not moderating the event. Our ambassadors are taking ownership since day one of the program, and they're doing brilliantly. So I will now hand over to Abimbola and other ambassador to take charge, and we will take back seat.
Okay, thank you very much, Shaya. Like I said before, it's time to listen to our very own Dr. Nafisatu to give a speech, which I am so much looking forward to. So welcome again, ma'am, and you have the floor.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Aya, and all the other young ambassadors. It is really a pleasure for me to be here today, and I know that when a year ago this idea was flagged by Aya about having those youth ambassador and Commissioner El Fadil, we were so excited. So we are very, very, very happy to see this moment today where we are all launching together, this initiative and the fantastic, ambassadors that have been selected, over 2,000 applications. So I would like really to greet Your Excellency Amira El Fadil, Commissioner of the African Union, who has been an incredible champion in her country, Sudan, but then at the African Union, lifting this campaign to eliminate FGM, to that level. Madam Commissioner, I think that you have let your name in the history of Africa, and thank you so much. I would like to recognize Monsieur l'ambassadeur Léopold Bonkougou du Burkina Faso, ambassadeur donc du Burkina auprès de l'Union africaine. Nous sommes vraiment très flattés de vous avoir aussi aujourd'hui dans ce panel, en reconnaissant aussi du soutien sans limite que le Burkina Faso a montré au courant, je veux dire, des 20 dernières années où j'ai commencé à travailler sur cette campagne pour éliminer les mutilations génitales féminines. I would like to thank also our Goodwill Ambassador from the African Union on Anti-Child Marriage, Honorable Marie-Christine Bokoum, Member and Special Rapporteur of Harmful Practice on the Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, and African Union Special Rapporteur on Anti-Child Marriage. I would like also to recognize here the presence of several ambassadors from Egypt, Mauritania, Nigeria, Chad, Somalia, South Africa, and my partner, strong partner from UNICEF, the director of the Office of Liaison of UNICEF to the African Union. Eddie, thank you so much. So I would like just a few remarks because of the time, and I think that we want to hear more from this ambassador than from us. You know, we are talking for so many years now. Just to say that, you know, on behalf of the UNFPA and UNICEF joint program that had the pleasure to coordinate during 10 years, I would like to again reaffirm that we have been working for the past 10 years in supporting governments and civil society organizations of a certain number of countries. Unfortunately, not all the countries affected by female genital mutilation in Africa and beyond. But with the resources that we receive from our generous donors, we have been able to support an enabling environment, to strengthen services, to really help in designing and putting in place and the national coordination system to respond to this pandemic of female genital mutilation. The National FGM Board, the coordination, the CNLPE, the different type of name, but all representing an incredible effort of coordinating the response with different government units, but also with grassroots and civil society organizations. We had the pleasure also to support directly CSO capacity development and action and grassroots level, and strengthen the services from the Ministry of Health, administrative data, but also Ministry of Women and Gender, and other ministries that are part of the multi-sectoral approach, because we do know that it has to be a concerted and integrated effort to address this issue. And of course, our main work has been really to look at this social norm that is female genital mutilation and really try to understand how we can address it. How, without creating any tension, we can bring communities, religious leaders, traditional leaders, women, girls, and all the different stakeholders and guardians of the community, guardian of the culture, to be part of this change and understand that we can keep our girls safe, we can protect our girls and our women, and we can protect our culture and our tradition without this practice of female genital mutilation, which is so harmful. And really, it was really an important work that has been done with everybody. And I can say that for me, the pivotal moment was one in 2018 when the president of Burkina Faso, accepted to be a leader, in front of the African Union, which was after that adopted by all these peers in February 2019. But it started in that conference in Ouagadougou, where we were with commissioner leadership there. And also the president of Kenya commitment to end female genital mutilation in Kenya by 2022, his term at the head of the country. And I would like also to recognize some other head of states from Guinea I can name, because I heard so many strong speech that he has done from Egypt and other, just to name few of them, but just to show that the work that has been done, and you today as grassroots activists, looking at this as sometimes, criticizing us, because you want things to move faster, because you want things to be, more, you want us to be more bold. I just want to say that, those are steps that we have reached today in this big initiative to end female genital mutilation in Africa and beyond. That is not, that we shouldn't minimize. And it's a very, very important one. I would like to just say that this year, UNFPA State of the World Population was named against my will, and was trying to call for the urgent accelerated action to stop female genital mutilation, child marriage, gender-based sex selection, and other harmful practice. The report has drawn an incredible attention to the issue of female genital mutilation and other harmful practice, covered by media more than almost 2,000 times in 25 languages, reaching social media, millions of people. So thank you so much for all your support for that, but that was a call for accelerated action because we now have less than 10 years. And we are in that decade of action where we need to accelerate our work and ensure that we will have 0 new cases of FGM in 2030. And Commissioner and myself said that even if we are old, we will be there to see that moment, that incredible moment. And we believe that with you as young ambassadors, as activists that are connected today with us, as leaders, as government and ambassadors, we will make it. So I would like here to really call my daughters, because I'm quite old, courageous ambassadors, Basma, Dikel, Abibola, Sada, Kwasar, Palesa. We are ready to support you through, of course, our technical capacities, our experience, respecting our gray hairs, but also funding. And I would like to recognize that whatever we have as support and funds from our generous donors, we will put it in your hands to really advance this campaign and this initiative to end FGM, because we do believe in the power of young people. And last February 2020, if you remember, the 6th February, the theme was the unleash the power of young people. So today, I think that we are there, and you are the ambassador who are going to lead, a cohort of millions of young people to end this practice. So thank you so much. I would like just to recognize again that our generous supporter, Spotlight Initiative, funded by the European Union, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Spain, ESID, United Kingdom, France, Austria, are supporting financially this campaign in Africa, and probably a lot of other donors and NGOs. We want to recognize them and thank them for that. So just my last word is that today we welcome you on board, ambassadors, and we respect you, and we are looking forward to working with you. #EndFGM, #Born Salima in Africa and in the world. Thank you so much.
Dear Dr. Job, thank you for your word and your collaboration with us. The Saleema Initiative will not be the same without your unfailing support. We thank you as our UN partner, and we thank you as our African entity who has been defying our rights for decades. Female genital mutilation is not only harmful practice which the African Union works tirelessly to tackle. In fact, the Department of Social Affairs has launched in 2040 the campaign to end child marriages, which has been since in 28 countries. Our next speaker is a hero. She has worked more than 20 years to advance the right of women and girls in more organizations than I can count. Today, it is as the African Union Goodwill Ambassador for the AU campaign to end child marriages that I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Niaradzai Bumbon Ramza. Sorry, I hope that I pronounced it very well. Thank you. Please, the floor is yours.
You said perfectly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Burkina Faso, and all the member states present. Thank you to the member states for daring to translate all these policies into real life of girls in our lives, and for Burkina Faso to lead in ending FGM. My own commissioner for social affairs, I remember when we had our first meeting and he said, you know what, Nyaradzai, it's not complete for us to address issues of the rights of girls through ending child marriage without ending FGM. And you rolled your sleeves up, and today we are launching a milestone with the ambassadors for ending FGM. Congratulations and thank you for your leadership, Your Excellency. I really value working through you for the work that we do at the African Union. Our own special envoy for youth, Aya, when you arrived on the table, you turned around the African Union because you turned that demographic dividend into voice, so that the African youth are not just a statistic in the spaces of decision-making, but the African young people are leaders today in carrying forward the vision of the African Union. Thank you and congratulations. My own colleague, the Special Rapporteur on ending child marriage and a member of the experts, I rise up to you because you carry an extra mandate. Me, I'm the advocate, I speak. You bring accountability of the member states through that committee and through your report, and thank you for the extraordinary work that you continue to do. My colleagues in the UN, Nafisatu and Dr. Eddie, in my previous life, I was part of the UN and I remain. Thank you so much for the extraordinary work you continue to do. At times, I can feel you want to be activists and I expected to remain diplomats. And we just love how you continue to navigate the space and the mandate that you have in order to push the issues at the table and to give the rights to the African woman, especially as we speak today. Thank you. I enjoy working with you and thank you for all the support. Amazing 250 something people, civil society networks out there. Me, I'm living in my village. I'm talking from my village, so I connect with the 250 some people out there. I saw Save the Children there, saw colleagues from Kenya. Thank you. Change does not happen unless we dare in our community. So congratulations for being part of the Saleema Initiative. It's really humbling to welcome my co-ambassadors. I call you my co-ambassadors because I remember also being challenged that the campaign to end child marriage or to end FGM demands multiple voices at multiple spaces simultaneously for us to be an orchestra for the transformation that we need to say. And definitely your mandate connects with the vision of the African Union. We can never be a prosperous Africa that is at peace with itself if the daughters of Africa are bleeding to death, bleeding with pain, dropping out of school, getting married early, suffering the trauma in silence. We can never achieve that vision of a prosperous Africa unless the daughters of Africa live a life of dignity, a life of rights, and a life where they have justice. You are the ambassadors who are contributing to that vision of Africa through the Saleema Initiative. Congratulations. When I was appointed AU Goodwill Ambassador, I had no idea what I was expected to do, but I knew that I have a mandate. The mandate is huge, it's exciting. So I just want to share 3 big pieces that I have learned since appointed AU Goodwill Ambassador on ending child marriage, for us to connect on what are some of the insights expected of us. So I'll not go into the content of FGM and link with child marriage. You have that, definitely. But I just want to say my experience as AU Goodwill Ambassador. So first is dare to speak up, dare to speak out, and dare to speak always. You speak through writing, you speak on social media, you speak in workshops, you speak in your family, you speak with your friends, but you speak. Silence is not an option unless if it is a strategy. It can only be a strategy, but not an option. Dare to be the voice. Speak with confidence, speak with evidence, speak with data, speak with the stories, speak with the emotion. When it hurts, say it hurts. When we celebrate, let's celebrate. Speak with humanity, speak with empathy, speak connecting with the girl that we are speaking for. Speak together with, and don't speak alone. You are but a connector. You connect those with the media. You connect when the wrong story is being told, and yet you connect when you need to demand dignity, when the survivor of abuse is treated as a victim, when she is a leader and a victor and she's treated as a beneficiary. You speak, not alone, but together with. Dare to engage. Dare to engage with the African Union. The African Union is multiple tapestry of institutions. Dare to be in the tapestry of possibilities that exist within the African Union, from the Commission to the specialized institutions of the African Union, the network of partners. Dare to connect for effectiveness and not just for visibility. Dare to engage on the most sensitive issues. Dare with respect and dignity ask our member states to be accountable or to have that policy in place. Dare to name where there are barriers, but name with solutions. An ambassador is not only for raising that the cup is half empty, be part of offering the solutions. Dare with respect and dignity to leverage the potential of the African identity, the African culture, the positive culture, but equally dare to engage with our African traditional institutions for us to transform those institutions. Leverage the potential that exists with the Council for Traditional Leaders in Africa for us to really, really transform and reclaim the total identity and the beauty of who Africa is and the beauty of our culture without abuse and violation of girls, without abuse and violation of human rights. Dare to be spiritual, dare to celebrate your faith, dare to pray, dare to connect with religious communities, but in ways where we are able to also transform and to question, because we are also endowed with the potential of being prophetic in the work that we do. I want to end with a commitment. I commit in my work not only to advance our campaign to end child marriage, for we must, but always to tell the twin story with FGM and to connect with the embedded, harmful, patriarchal notions. I commit to working with you as a network of victorious ambassadors. You are the victorious ambassadors for the rights, dignity, and justice for African girls, for African families, and for communities. I commit to retweet. I commit to amplify your voices and to be present where you need me to be present. And I also dare to reach out to you so that you can also, we can support each other in the work that you do. I want to end with really appreciating all the partners and to request. I am running Rosaria Memorial Trust. I may be resourced through Rosaria Memorial Trust, through the various network of partners. These young people who are ambassadors need airtime bundles. Honestly, this work requires them to be supported at a very practical level. Because at times we offer leadership, and at times we don't sufficiently enable them to lead. So my single ask to the African Union Commission, to the partners present, to the organizations that surround the amazing young ambassadors. Let's support them. Let's resource their effective voice because they are the tapestry of the transformation for Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your speech. I am inspired, and I speak on behalf of everyone that we're really looking forward to working with you, Mrs. Naritai. I am inspired. I am literally taking your hashtag, Dare to Speak. I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker. I am here today because the way we tell our stories as women and for women matters. Today we are here making history because two women exactly 1 year ago decided it was time to change the narrative around African women and girls. 1 year ago, Her Excellency Amira Al-Fadil and Aya Chebi have come together and imagined the six of us. They called us their champions. They imagined us, envisioned us, and they created a story in which our voices matter. Thank you so much for believing in the power of young Africa. And I hope you enjoyed the video.
There's a problem with the voice, I think. The audio, is it okay? The audio.
No, we can't hear.
We will continue. This is to tell young people that it's not an initiative only of the African Union. At the African Union, we set the framework, we galvanize the advocacy towards member states and towards the regional economic communities. But this is for young people, because young people are on the ground and on the front line of fighting to end FGM and to end child marriage. So this initiative would not be successful if youth are not part of it, if the whole community is not part of it, and if intergenerational dialogue is not a core and integral part of it. I think this intergenerational conversation is very important for the elimination of FGM in Africa. We will continue making use of the special envoy of the chairperson of the African Union Commission. I can look into other young women or men leaders in the different member states to help out this, because we need on the national level to identify champions that they can work also with us.
Hi everyone, my name is Basma Kamil. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Egypt. I'm the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for the diaspora.
Tabela, and greetings everyone. My name is Vanessa Michelle. I'm 23 years of age and I'm from South Africa. I am the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for the Southern African region.
Je suis Abdelhamid Mohamed, je suis des nationalités. Je suis l'ambassadrice victorieuse de la Salima pour la région de l'Afrique centrale.
My name is Abdimbola Alade Jerry. I am 33 years old. I'm a Nigerian. I am the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for West Africa. My name is Zikya. I'm 29 years old and I'm from Nigeria. I'm the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for North Africa region. So, Saleema Musa, I am 23 years old from Somaliland. I am Saleema Youth Ambassador for East Africa.
The Africa I want is the Africa where there's justice for women and children. The Africa I want is the Africa where women and children are seen, but not only are they seen, but they are also heard by the African government.
The Africa I want is Africa where women are valued, where women are supported, where gender-based violence, including female genital mutilation, becomes history. An Africa where women and girls contribute to the welfare and the economic growth in all African countries.
The Africa I want is an Africa that gives equal opportunity both men and women, an Africa that protects its young people from harmful practices like FGM.
Is Africa with 0% of FGM, with full support of women's rights and 0% domestic abuse.
L'Afrique que je vis, c'est une Afrique unie, prospère et connaissant des valeurs humaines.
Africa is a continent of young people, and it will continue. 60% of the current population is young people, under 25. And it will double. And it will double. Yeah. So that's why the conversation with us and with the new generations has to continue. Yes. Yeah.
And join Salima.
I think there is some problems with the video. No, where is Aya? Aya?
Aya had to leave, Excellency. She had.
Maybe Saraya?
Can you?
I think there is some issue with them. Yeah.
Excellency, can you hear me? Excellency? Excellency, I'm not sure you can hear me. I had to leave. She had another commitment. I am sorry about the video. We had a technical issue, but we will continue. Now it is Saada Jadid Mohammed who will introduce our next speaker. Saada, c'est quand tu veux. Saada,
I think, Madame Bokum, you are our next speaker. I'm just hijacking the microphone.
Yes, Saada.
But I know that you are our next speaker.
One of the ambassadors, Saada Jadid, will
there's some connection problems. So, Madame Bokum.
Merci. Merci, Madame Commissaire. Excellence, distingués invités, bon après-midi à tout le monde. Et permettez que je commence mon propos en adressant mes plus chaleureuses félicitations et souhaiter la bienvenue à nos jeunes victorieuses ambassadrices Salima et vous dire combien je suis ravie de faire partie de cette réunion aujourd'hui en ma qualité de membre du comité africain d'experts sur les droits et le bien-être de l'enfant et de rapporteur spécial sur le mariage des enfants et les pratiques traditionnelles néfastes. L'agenda
ending child marriage. Agenda 2063 on the Africa we want has made the elimination of all types of violence, including FGM, something that should be eliminated. And of course, by 2030, we call for the elimination of FGM in Africa. Our African instruments like the Charter of Peace and particularly us here, the Charter of the welfare of the African child sustains the provision so that we fight all harmful practices such as female genital mutilation and other things as defined in Article 21 of the African Charter on the welfare of the child against harmful practices.
D'accord. I'm sorry, Madame Mokom.
Can you hear me? You can't hear the interpreter?
Madame Bokoum, il y a un problème d'interprétation. Nous allons essayer de le régler.
I don't know if someone can tell us what's happening with
Nous allons essayer de régler ce problème.
I've been interpreting, ma'am.
Can you hear me? I'm one of the interpreters, yes. So I will take over. Maybe you couldn't hear my colleague, so I will take over.
Thank you. Yes,
I'll take
please.
over.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You can continue, Madame Boko. You can continue, yes.
Donc, outre la charte, l'agenda.
Aside from the Charter, Agenda 2040 for the Children of Africa, which was adopted at the committee by the Executive Council of the African Union, had as a main theme ushering an Africa that would respect children. Now, this was the objective we had, and by 2040, we do hope that the rights of the African child will be respected. And Aspiration 7 of this agenda recalls our common objective, which is to ensure that every child be protected against violence, exploitation, maltreatment, and abuse, and also aims to ensure that by 2040, harmful practices such as breast ironing, FGMs, early marriage will be behind us. Salima Initiative follows up on a decision of the 2019 AU Summit, calling for an accelerated action to eliminate the practice of FGMs. Aside from calling for legislative frameworks to prohibit such practices, it calls for resources, national resources, to be made available to offer protection services and care for girls and women who have been subject to FGMs, and also to fight against the harmful that along the extended gap, the gender gap. It also calls for a continental framework to what is done gender-based violence FGM. The committee is working closely with our colleagues from the Department of Social Affairs of the EU Commission, but as we know, the frameworks, whether national or continental, go hand in hand with programs that have sensitized and this is the ambitious project of the program that we are launching today. The committee has been supporting this program from its inception because we participated through our secretariat in the selection process, and we are very happy to be meeting you again today. Our mandate is not going to be, your mandate is not going to be easy. We are celebrating today you joining our family, and you will have the responsibility to mobilize the youth of our continent, which make up more than 60% of our population, We give them every assurance of our full support, and we can tell you right away that we really value your precious support, because we cannot really move forward the rights of women, of men and children without turning to our youth and building together our Agenda 2063, the Africa one. That they can continue the work that we have started. And it is their responsibility to take stock of our experience. And we will be on your side. We will be next to you, and you can call on us as and when you wish. And since now we are launching and starting this program, the question that arises today, the question on the table is how young women can move the process forward to eliminate female genital mutilations, FGMs. How can young women drive this process in Africa? Ambassadors, the answer to this question is in your hands. So you could start, we can start with Mrs. Kausar, who is representing East Africa. Over to you. You have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bikom, for your inspiring speech. I'm happy here today that you have me to be one of the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador to eliminate female genital mutilation in Africa. My name is Basma, I'm from Egypt. And about the question that you answered now, how young women can lead the process of elimination of female genital mutilation. First of all, female genital mutilation is a very harmful practice that must end with survivors-led initiative and movements with full engagement of all communities in Africa to promote for elimination of this practice. And myself, as being a Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador, we 6 young women have been having this prestigious opportunity to take an action to end this practice in Africa with full support of all partners for our voices to be heard and to break the silence and to take an action to end this practice. So I think cooperation together to network and work in grassroots level to strengthen voices of young women to lead the ending this practice. Also networking and global mobilization will open spaces for international dialogue with all stakeholders and policymakers, and will give an access to young women to be a part of the discussions and give an opportunity for all partners to share needs, experiences, and best practices in Africa.
Campaign on harmful effects of FGM, popularize the law criminalizing the practice of FGM, make the voice of FGM survivors heard, and collect their life stories and publish them to raise awareness of this devastating practice in the lives of girls and women. Carrying out actions to raise awareness of practitioners, parents, and all those involved in the harmful consequences of FGM. Encourage a movement of young boys and men for Salima girl. That is said, a girl who is not excited, a girl, a complete girl. Carrying out advocacy actions with the public authorities so that FGM survivors benefit from adequate calorie system services in the term of FGM prevention, protection, and care. Contribute to strengthening the capacities of girls and women to exercise and express their rights by changing social and gender norms in communities in order to eradicate FGM and all other harmful practices such as child marriage. Continue the last point is to continue to demystify, in particular, religious justification through the involvement of ulama. It is needed, vital, that communities understand that female genital mutilation, it is not recommended by Islam at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Basma and Dikel, for the very interesting perspective. My name again is Abimbola Aladejari, the West African Youth Ambassador, and I am a survivor of FGM. And for me, the most painful part is that I never got to know that I was mutilated until I was 25 years old. And for me, that was a big deal. Like, I was mutilated, and from day one of my birth till I was 25 years old, nobody mentioned it to me. So for me, it shows that the culture of silence is one prominent factor that promotes the practice of FGM. And I went back home and I confronted my mom. I challenged her. Why did you allow me to go through this? And she apologized immediately, and she told me that she didn't know that FGM was harmful as at then. And she didn't mutilate my kid sister, who is 9 years older than I am. For me, that experience sent a message that was very clear to me. First, I was able to forgive my mom because she did it thinking it was in the best interest of me as a girl child. And when she got the right information, she didn't mutilate my kid sister. So for me, it means that if mothers, young women, are aware that FGM is harmful to their child, there is a likelihood that the practice will be abandoned by such informed mother. So for me, there is a lot of things that we can do as young women to end FGM, because first, we are the victims, survivors, and then we are the mothers of the new generation of girls that we want to be born Saleema. So the first thing I am championing and campaigning for as young Saleema ambassador is that we can have a survivors network where we can support one another, share experiences, and be able to help each other through the trauma, because the world is doing a whole lot, to end the practice of FGM, but not much is being done to provide support to survivors of FGM. So I think that my friends out there and our mothers and fathers can support us to have a survivors network. We can have a quarterly or yearly magazine where survivors share their stories and how they were able to move from being a victim to being a survivor. Also, I wanted to raise a germane point, because I know that FGM is harmful. A lot of people are emotional. They want the practice to stop. But we also need to remember the do no harm principle. Over 200 million women and girls are being caught around the world. And these 200 million it's not just a number. They are human beings, flesh and blood. And some of us are not married yet. So I hear a number of campaigns where people are saying, no, we are going to tell our parents to stop FGM because we are not going to marry girls that are caught, and I'm like, excuse me, so what happened? This is like double punishment, So we need to remember the do no harm principle. We need to be, sensitive to the needs of survivors of FGM. And sometimes when we use a normal external genitalia, or when we use a normal girl or a complete girl, it makes a survivor like me sometimes feel like, you mean I'm not normal? You mean I'm not complete? So I think we need to pay attention to that as young women. And I also need the African leaders to establish a survivors fund and a survivor center where survivors can walk in and access unbiased information and services that will help them to pull through and stand up to become activists. If people like us, who are the Saleema Youth Ambassadors today, didn't get help, we may not be able to come out to speak boldly and even share our experiences as ambassadors of NFGM. Because of our time, I think that I will need to hold it up here so that I have a lot of things written down, but I will give my other sisters, Saleema Youth Ambassadors, the opportunity to add to what I've said. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abimbola. Thank you very much for this very complete and comprehensive response. And I understand that you certainly have a lot more that you would like to share, and we will have more events for you to share your experience and your thoughts on the question. Saada Jadid Mohamed is next from Chad. Saada, est-ce que tu m'entends? Saada, est-ce que tu peux m'entendre?
Can you hear me?
Saada, est-ce que tu nous entends?
Bonjour, bonjour.
Ah, bonjour Saada, on peut t'entendre à présent. La parole est à toi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alors, we seem to have a technical problem with Saada's connection. So we are now going to move to Kausar Muse, who is our Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for East Africa. The floor is yours, Kausar.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who attended this call. And if I try to answer the question, how can young women drive the process of eliminating female genital mutilation? The first thing that young women, regardless of their race, their creed, and nationality, should do is to educate themselves about the origin of this practice and the long-lasting impact that it has on women's life. Coming from a society that practice and that 98% of women go through FGM, I spent my entire childhood and adolescent ignorance believing that FGM was a religious and necessary procedure. Until I came to an international high school and I met with a women with a different background. I began to ask and to question what happened to me, my 7-year-old self. By doing my own research, I discovered that this was misogynistic practice stemmed from cultural sexist view that I was, and that the day I decided to fight this battle and save many girls as I can. Believing young women, by raising awareness and breaking the taboo, creating a space women can speak and share their experience. We can end this practice. This is a subject that in my society is stigmatized and not allowed to question. The misogynist. And the second reason that many women cannot question is because many women don't want to remember and don't want to remember the pain that they went through and to become re-traumatized. They intentionally are trying to forget this cycle that they went through. Therefore, we must empower those young women with the knowledge that they need and the social cycle support that they need. So as a young woman, I believe we have a bigger role to eradicate FGM. It's a woman who knows this pain. It's a woman who can relate to our suffering. It's a woman who can end this backward practice once and for all. So we all need to educate women, because once they have the education, they can change what happens. Like they have the voice to take their rights. So that's all I will say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kausar. Thank you very much for your intervention and participation. Let's see again if we can have Saada. She told me that her mic doesn't seem to work. Saada, est-ce que tu peux nous entendre? Effectivement, nous, on ne t'entend pas. Je pense que tu as un problème de microphone. Allô, allô, est-ce que tu nous entends? So while Saada tries to fix her mic problem, let's now move to Vanessa Michelle, who is our Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for the southern region of Africa. She is with us from South Africa. Vanessa, please take the floor.
Greetings, everyone. Well, my name is Vanessa Michelle, and I am the Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador for Southern Africa. All of us here have been told stories one way or another, whether by a grandmother, a neighbor, or a family member. These stories get passed on from generations to generations. This is another way which social norms, social expectations, misconceptions, and misinformations about female genital mutilation or any harmful practices get passed on from generation to generations. I am a storyteller at heart, and I believe storytelling is a powerful tool which can be used to drive social change when used wisely. With the right research, storytelling can shift social norms, values, and beliefs, and social beliefs more effectively about female genital mutilation compared to traditional fact-based messaging. For instance, we can look at a film titled Yesterday by Daryl Wood. It is a film which depicts a woman's lived experiences in relation to being affected by HIV and AIDS. Representations in films such as Yesterday can potentially influence people's self-evaluation, empowerment, and attitude towards a lot of issues within Africa. And that's exactly what the film Yesterday did in South Africa. And I suggest that we do the same with female genital mutilation by not just showing how horrific the practice is to young girls like any other YouTube documentary video, but we channel towards sharing stories which challenges the social norm. For instance, stories of women who have never been through the practice, but are probably married or have kids, sharing stories which break the silence. Sharing stories where we give the right information about how exactly a woman's health gets affected if she has been through the practice of FGM. I'm talking about film storytelling of women with names and surnames, and not just FGM victims, but survivors. Stories that reflect the lived experiences of the affected communities. Storytelling engages people at every level, not just in the emotions, but in the values and imaginations, which are the drivers of real change. So if we want to transform society, especially when it comes to ending female genital mutilation, then we must learn to tell and to listen to a new set of stories about the world we want to create. And this is how I want to play my part in driving the process for the elimination of female genital mutilation by changing the narrative around African women and girls and FGM. I thank you.
Lisa, thank you very much for your intervention. Saada tells me that her mic now is working. Saada, est-ce que tu peux nous entendre? Est-ce que ton micro fonctionne?
Saada, can you hear us? Is your microphone working now?
Ah oui, nous t'entendons.
Allô?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Tu peux y aller en français. On t'entend. S'il te plaît, à toi la parole.
Bonsoir à tout le monde. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Saada, est-ce que tu m'entends?
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Saada, can you hear?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Saada, on t'entend. Il y a un décalage, mais
je suis vraiment honorée d'être.
Saada, we can hear you.
Et je suis aussi consciente de la mission qu'on nous a confiée.
I'm aware of the mission that has been given to us, especially as we are victims of this harmful practice. We are going to wage this fight. I'm going to look at this from a legal point of view because FGM is considered as a violation of human rights of girls and women. And this has been dealt with in international and regional treaties. The International Declaration of Human Rights has talked about many institutions that implement the treaties of the United Nations, take into account FGM, and they have to
le comité contre la discrimination à l'égard des femmes, le comité des droits de l'enfant et le comité
Can you hear me?
ont activement condamné.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, to fight with FGM.
Et depuis de nombreuses années, l'Union
For many years now, the African Union has made considerable efforts to eliminate FGMs. And during its General Assembly, it adopted the protocol on the Charter of Human Rights and for the protocol of Maputo. These are important to guarantee the rights of women and also to eliminate FGMs on the African continent. Article 5 of the Maputo Protocol calls on all states to eliminate all these harmful practices that violate the rights of women. So all the legislative measures and others to eradicate these practices should lead to sanctions and punishment where such practices are carried out in countries. So all these harmful practices have to be eliminated in Africa. In Africa, as Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassador, we can mention a few countries that already have laws and legislation against these practices. For example, Central African Republic has a law against FGM, that is law number 632 of 27 September 2006 to protect women against violence in the Central African Republic. There is law number 10001 of 6 January 2001 that also prohibits FGMs. And the government of Chad has also very recently ratified lots of international instruments to protect women and young girls. There is Ordinance number 6 of 14 March 2015 prohibiting early child marriage. Now, with all of these legal instruments, we don't see much improvement. There is law number 006, however, on the enhancement or promotion of the health of women, enacted in 2002, to be able to resolve issues relating to early child marriage, and all African countries should draw from this and try to do things in the proper way. There are countries that are an inspiration in this area, like in Kenya, Uganda, and Guinea-Bissau. The advocacy fighting against these harmful practices is done by women parliamentarians. In Guinea-Bissau, the determination of NGOs is also a very important aspect. As Saleema ambassadors, we are going to have advocacy so that laws are enacted where they don't exist against the FGMs, because they have to allow each child to grow up fully well. We will draw inspiration from experiences in Kenya, Uganda, and Guinea, so that all stakeholders in this area, like administrative officials and others, should be involved in this fight. Now, to end, I will quote the President of the National Assembly of Burkina Faso, who said that you can be a good African and promote tradition without female genital mutilation. Thank you.
Victorious Ambassadors, for your contribution on today's question. And this event wouldn't be quite complete without a male ally. As much as all 6 Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors are women, we cannot achieve our goal without boys and men support. So this is why we would like to thank all men standing with us in this process, especially His Excellency President Kabori, the African Union champion for the elimination of female genital mutilation, and His Excellency the Ambassador of Burkina Faso, Mr. Leopold Bonkongo, and His Excellency Moussa Faki, Chairman of the African Union Commission, and all male colleagues inside the AU within the partner organizations. And now, please allow me to welcome one of our main allies, UNICEF representative to the African Union and the Economic Commission for Africa, Dr. Edward Ade. Hi, Dr. Edward.
Thank you, Bassam, and I'm very glad to be one of the men standing with you, joining you in this fight against female genital mutilation. Excellencies,
you are one of a minority, Adi. Especially today.
Thank you. Excellencies, today I want to celebrate a couple of things. And the first thing I want to celebrate is that UNICEF and UNFPA join you to celebrate you, the 6 Saleema Volunteer Victorious Ambassadors. We are really proud of you. We want to tell you you are not alone, and we want to recommit to supporting you and accompanying you in your journey. So you can count on us as you move forward. The second person I want to celebrate is Her Excellency Amira Al-Fadel. Madam Al-Fadel, I want to celebrate you for your leadership and commitment to the fight against FGM, and without a doubt, you deliver what you say you would. I've heard a lot of young people, Madam Al-Fadel, say they want to be like you when they grow up. You are a true model for change in Africa. Thank you very much for the work you do.
Thank you.
I also want to celebrate Aya for her vision, sustained commitment to youth engagement, and her drive. I mean, her drive is very palpable, and she makes things happen. Thank you, Aya, for being the voice of the voiceless and for committing to work with ambassadors in really advancing the fight against female genital mutilation and I would say harmful practices in our continent. Madam Bokum and Ambassador Nyarazai, your sustained engagement, your commitment always comes through in the work you do, which really reflects a lot of your statements. Madam Nyarazai, thank you for being there for our young people. Madam Bokum, thank you for being there and for pushing the frontiers on practices, harmful practices on our continent. We are really grateful for your partnership and for your continuous engagement and leadership. I also want to celebrate the government of Burkina and all the governments who are really pushing the frontiers of the fight against female genital mutilation and harmful practices on our continent. And through you, Ambassador Leopold, to the President of Burkina Faso for the leadership and the continuous engagement to ensure that FGM and other harmful practices remain on the agenda of the African Union. We thank you so much for the work that you continue to do. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, FGM is a result of multiple layers of interactions and interconnectedness of values, of norms, of decisions, and of actions. It's really embedded in the way our societies are operating. So far, these interactions, unfortunately, have not worked for about 150 million people in Africa, 125 million people in Africa, and the numbers continue to increase, meaning the interactions are really not working for some of our young girls and young women on our continent. So the real question for us is, how do we change these interactions into positive interactions that help us really reverse the current trend and do that quickly? We need speed of change. That is the challenge that we have, and I hope that our ambassadors see that as the value that they bring in this fight against FGM, bringing change to the interactions, the values that are, and not bringing that change fast. Because if we don't do that, a few more children, unfortunately, would be victims of FGM. And so we welcome you into the landscape of efforts that are going on in the fight against FGM, and we hope that you really bring acceleration to the good work that Her Excellency Amira Al-Fadel has started. Let me offer four ideas to guide us and to inform us as we begin to move forward. The first is empathy. Thank you, Adimbola, for your story and for sharing it. I think it really brings to life the reality that our young girls continue to face. Within that framework, we are asking for your help to put a human face on this FGM issue. It's important for people to see that as a reality. We are asking for your help for those who are to help those who are victims to become victors like you. We are asking for your help to really help change the narrative on FGM. So my first message is, let's put a human face to FGM, because the statistics are hiding the real people. And I want to thank you once again, Adimbola, for your story. The second is curiosity. We've been trying for so long, and there's been a lot happening that you can build on. But I ask you to continuously be curious and to ask the simple question: what is the system that continues to sustain an FGM? Why is it that in spite of our efforts, children are still being cut? We need your help to answer that question, because things are changing, things are evolving, and not just stay at the level of the problem, but help us find solutions. What can we do to use Madam Amira's word that the fight ends in this generation? We need audacious goals. We need you to help us make these audacious goals a reality. The fight must end in this generation. If we don't end this fight in this generation, Madam Amira will be very sad. And I know you don't want to make her sad. Please help us. The third is to reinforce Ambassador Nyarazai's words. The third is courage. The courage to act and the courage to make a difference. The only sin that you can commit is the sin of inaction. Madam Nyarazai said it so eloquently, and so I want to reinforce it. Help us do a couple of things, and I want to leave you with 4 R's. The first is rapid response. For the girls who are at risk, Please help us put a rapid response mechanism in place so that these girls don't go through the process. Help us. The second is that there are some populations that are at risk. Help us scale action in these communities that are cutting so many more children. Common things occur commonly in this world, and there are some communities that see a lot of it. So focus your efforts in those communities where there's a lot of the practice happening. So that's the second R. It's a realignment of our efforts. So the first R is rapid response. The second R is a realignment of our efforts. The third R, which is around the system, we need to redesign the system. We need to begin to look at the systems and the interactions that continue to make sure that our young girls are being cut. Help us redesign these systems. What are the interactions that are happening at the family level? What are the interactions that are happening at the community level? And thank you once again, Adimbola. You are a living story of what your mother learned. It's those interactions that you should help us redesign to help us make sure that no child within this decade is cut. And the last, which I want to leave with you, is about reframing. And one of your colleagues said it so well. It's about changing the narrative. We need to work together to change the narrative. We need to educate our people. We need to reframe our values. We need to reframe our norms. We need to reframe our beliefs. We need to help so that people who are victims are not double jeopardized. We need to reframe it. Help us in these areas. So those are my 4 R's in terms of courage. We need your courage to act and to do things. And please don't commit the cardinal sin of inaction. Make a difference. The last point I wanted to raise in my 4 ideas that I wanted to share with you is collaboration. You have been selected because you are good. Never ever doubt that. You have gone through a difficult process of selection. You are good, and we are proud of you. And you can do a lot. But you can achieve more if you work together. So find a way, and I like the idea of a network. Find a way of becoming a network where you share ideas, you draw on each other's strengths, you help each other with your weaknesses. The good things that are happening in North Africa can be learned in West Africa. That's how we can achieve scale. So as we celebrate you, ambassadors, we look up to you for help, we look up to your leadership, and we hope that in this generation, you help us make the Born Salima and Grow Salima initiative a reality. Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to be working with you. Bye for now. Over to you, Zuraya.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adai. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the 6 Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors. Congratulations and welcome to the Salima family. Thank you very much, Excellency Ambassador of Burkina Faso, for being with us to represent the African Union champion for the elimination of female genital mutilation in Africa, His Excellency President Kaboulé. Excellency Amira Al-Fadil, Commissioner for Social Affairs, thank you so much for carrying this Salima initiative, for creating the Salima initiative, and for giving us the space and giving the 6 Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors the space to be here today and to speak up. Thank you very much, Honorable Member Marie-Christine Bokoum of the Committee of African Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. We appreciate that you took from your time to be here with us today. Thank you very much to the Goodwill Ambassador for the African Union campaign to end child marriage. Nafisa Toujab from UNFPA, who had to leave, unfortunately, because she had another commitment, the steering committee of the joint program. Thank you also to Aya Shebi, the African Union Youth Envoy, who unfortunately also had another commitment, so she's no longer here with us. Thank you to all of the team. Thank you to the interpreters and everyone at the Department of Social Affairs who has helped us and supported us. We are forever grateful. This is just the beginning for our new program with the 6 Saleema Youth Victorious Ambassadors, Kausar, Abimbola, Paleza, Dikel, Basma, and Sahada. Please remember their names. You will be hearing from them very soon. Again, we are so proud and happy that we have introduced them to you today. Thank you again. Thank you to all participants for watching and being here today with us and for all of your support. I wish you a very good afternoon, and we will see you all very soon to start implementation of this program together.
Thank you, Thuraya, and thank to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Adi, for this very, very good closing remarks. And when we were finishing your words, I said, I need to hear this again. So I think, Thuraya, you will bring it to me to hear it again. Thank you very much, the 6 ambassadors, the representatives of the 5 regions, and the representative of the diaspora. Thank you very much, Madame Bokoum. Thank you, Ambassador of Burkina Faso, Nafi, Aya, everybody. I'm really, really pleased today to witness this launching of your role, which is going to add to what we are doing. And bringing you, it means bringing the young Africans as part of this fight against FGM. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Merci bien.
Merci beaucoup pour votre présence, Excellence.
Merci, ma soeur.
Merci.
Et à bientôt.
My sister.